In the years following World War I, the world stood on the brink of monumental change. The war had ended, but its legacy would shape the interwar years in profound ways. Economies were rebuilding, societies were transforming, and the seeds of future conflicts were being sown. This period, filled with both hope and hardship, set the stage for the dramatic events that would follow. After World War I, Canada, with a population of 8 million people, sent over 600,000 overseas. The sacrifice at Vimy Ridge fostered a strong national identity, yet the cost was staggering. 60,000 lost their lives, and 170,000 were wounded. This brought not only trauma, but also a growing desire for autonomy. The 1920s brought a wave of prosperity and social change to Canada. During this vibrant decade, Canada gained significant autonomy. The Chanak affair in 1922 and the Halibut Treaty in 1923 marked steps towards independence. The establishment of an independent embassy in Washington in 1926 further solidified this autonomy. Finally, the Statute of Westminster in 1931 recognized Canada as an autonomous dominion. Prosperity came to a sudden halt with the crash of 1929. The Great Depression hit Canada hard. By 1933, 30% of the workforce was jobless, and 1 in 5 people were on relief. The prairies faced severe drought and economic collapse. Relief camps and protests, such as the 1935 On to Ottawa Trek, highlighted the widespread suffering across the nation. As Canada suffered, aggression grew abroad. Hitler, Mussolini, Japan, while initially cautious, the failure of appeasement showed global threat. September 1st, 1939, Germany invades Poland. September 10th, 1939, Canada makes its own decision declaring war on Germany, an independent assertion of sovereignty. September 1st, 1939, Germany invades Poland. September 10th, 1939, Canada makes its own decision declaring war on Germany, an independent assertion of sovereignty. Canada mobilized for total war. C.D. Howe led a massive industrial expansion. Canada became the 4th largest Allied producer, supplying critical metals, vehicles, aircraft, tanks, and hundreds of ships. Canada mobilized for total war. C.D. Howe led a massive industrial expansion. Canada became the 4th largest Allied producer, supplying critical metals, vehicles, aircraft, tanks, and hundreds of ships. Women entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers. From 600,000, peak employment hit 1.2 million. 373,000 worked in manufacturing alone. Over 50,000 served in the forces, including nursing sisters. Daily life transformed rationing managed shortages. Victory bonds, promoted fiercely, like Winnipeg's If Day, financed the war, raising nearly $12 billion. Wartime hysteria led to a dark chapter. Despite no evidence of disloyalty, around 22,000 Japanese Canadians were forcibly removed from their homes in 1942. Their property was confiscated. Restrictions lasted until 1949. Canada apologized in 1988. Conscription re-emerged as a divisive issue. The 1942 plebiscite showed deep division, with 65.6% voting yes overall and 72.1% voting no in Quebec. Prime Minister King's policy was not necessarily conscription, but conscription if necessary. Canadians fought early. Over 100 airmen participated in the Battle of Britain. The Battle of the Atlantic was vital. The Royal Canadian Navy grew massively, escorting convoys against U-boats, which was key to keeping Britain alive. December 1941, 1,975 Canadians defended Hong Kong. The colony fell on Christmas Day. Around 290 died in battle. Tragically, about 264 more died as prisoners of war in brutal camps. Canadians fought early, over 100 airmen in the Battle of Britain. The Battle of the Atlantic was vital. The Royal Canadian Navy grew massively, escorting convoys against U-boats, key to keeping Britain alive. December 1941, 1,975 Canadians defended Hong Kong. The colony fell on Christmas Day. About 290 died in battle. Tragically, around 264 more died as prisoners of war in brutal camps. August 19, 1942, the Dieppe Raid. About 5,000 Canadians led a test raid. It was a catastrophe, with brutal losses. 916 killed, around 1,950 taken prisoner, but provided vital lessons for future invasions. July 1943. Canadians joined the invasion of Italy. A long, grinding campaign up the peninsula against determined German defense. Over 93,000 served, over 26,000 casualties, nearly 6,000 killed. December 1943, the brutal Battle of Ortona. Canadians fought house to house against elite German troops developing mouse-holing tactics. Costly, but demonstrated grim determination. June 6, 1944, D-Day, the Normandy landings. Largest amphibious assault in history. Meticulous planning and lessons from Dieppe prepared 150,000 Allied soldiers. The 3rd Canadian Infantry Division assaulted Juno Beach. Facing fierce fire and obstacles, about 15,000 Canadians landed on D-Day. Despite heavy losses, 1,200 casualties, around 350 killed, they pushed further inland than any other Allied unit. D-Day was just the start of a brutal Normandy campaign. Around 20,000 Canadian casualties, nearly 5,000 killed. Canadians fought intensely in Bocage country, Caen and closing the Falaise pocket. June 6, 1944, D-Day, the Normandy landings, the largest amphibious assault in history. Meticulous planning and lessons from Dieppe prepared 150,000 Allied soldiers. The 3rd Canadian Infantry Division assaulted Juno Beach. Facing fierce fire and obstacles, around 15,000 Canadians landed on D-Day. Despite heavy losses, with 1,200 casualties and around 350 killed, they pushed further inland than any other Allied unit. D-Day was just the start of a brutal Normandy campaign with around 20,000 Canadian casualties and about 5,000 killed. Canadians fought intensely in Bocage country, Caen and in closing the Falaise pocket. As we approach the final moments of this incredible journey, it's important to remember the relentless determination that drove these individuals forward. Every step they took, every challenge they faced was a testament to their unwavering spirit. They knew that the stakes were high, and yet they pushed through with a resolve that was nothing short of extraordinary. It wasn't just about achieving a goal, it was about leaving a lasting impact, a legacy that would inspire future generations. And, in the end, their efforts weren't in vain. The legacy they created continues to resonate, reminding us of the power of perseverance and the importance of staying true to our values. So as we reflect on this journey, let's take a moment to appreciate the final push that brought everything together. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most significant achievements come from the hardest fought battles. And, well, that's the story of their legacy, a story of courage, determination, and an enduring impact that will be remembered for years to come. Canadians pushed through northwest Europe, clearing ports, and in the grueling Battle of the Scheldt, which resulted in over 6,000 Canadian casualties, they opened Antwerp. They then liberated the Netherlands, providing vital aid during the Hunger Winter. The war ended in May 1945 in Europe and in August 1945 in Japan. Over 1.1 million Canadians served out of a population of 11 million. The cost was immense. Over 45,000 were killed and 55,000 were wounded. Aboriginal Canadians also served despite facing discrimination. World War II transformed Canada. It became industrialized and more prosperous. The country emerged as a respected middle power, active in the United Nations and peacekeeping. This marked a shift from colonial deference to global engagement. From the trials between the wars to the sacrifices of World War II, Canada's resilience forged a more confident and internationally respected nation. Remembering this pivotal era is vital to understanding modern Canada.